It's nothing like it, but I just like bringing that up. Anyway, look, I grew up in Glasgow in Scotland, which is not Edinburgh, a different town entirely. And there's a lot of rivalry between the two towns. They don't like each other. The people in Glasgow don't like the people in Edinburgh. They say, oh, in Edinburgh, the phrase we have, in Edinburgh, they're all fur coats and no knickers. Which means something different to what you think it means. It means beneath their respectable exterior, they're crass people. That's what, Glasgow people think. But when I heard that when I was young, fur coat, no knickers, I thought, get me to Edinburgh, I'm going. Must be like a rap video or something. I've seen some, and you see some really weird stuff at the Edinburgh Festival. I saw a play at the Edinburgh Festival years ago, like 10 years ago, I think. And it was billed as the shortest play in the world. I'm not kidding. I saw a 6-minute play. It was shown half a dozen times an hour in this church hall somewhere. A 6-minute play, 2 actors. The play lasted 6 minutes. It was a 6-minute play. And I'm sitting down, I'm watching about halfway through, someone came in late. I'm like getting up to let them pass. Like, couldn't you wait till the next play? There's one along in a minute, or at least wait to the intermission. Come on. It was a great play, actually. Very good play. Last 5 minutes dragged a bit, but it was great. You know the weirdest show I ever saw? It can get very weird there. And the weirdest show I ever saw was a show called Archaeos. It was called Archos. And it was kind of like punk rock Cirque du Soleil, right? It was crazy. It was inside this huge tent in the middle of a park. And I went there on a Sunday morning. I was a bit hungover. Actually, I was still drunk from the night before, actually. And you get into this tent, and there's all this rock music playing, and people swinging on bits of motorcycles from high wires, and right down the front of all this craziness going on, there was a midget digging a grave. I know, and I went in, and I went, this is my kind of show, I thought. And I asked the guy, the kind of usher guy, I said, why does the midget dig the grave? He said, well, you never know. When I saw that, I thought, I have to be in show business. I have to be. When I saw it, I had to be in show business. I want to be part of this. Midgets, hot pants, digging graves, that's what I want to be involved in. And it was the Edinburgh Festival that got me into it, because I didn't know anyone in show business. I don't come from a show business family. I don't, come from a dynasty. I'm not one of the Jacksons. I know I look like one of the Jacksons, but I'm not. No, and when I started out in comedy, I had plenty of people saying, you shouldn't be in show business. I had everyone in Scotland saying you shouldn't be in Scotland. I remember my guidance counsellor at schools, I told him my dream was to go to Hollywood and have a career in show business. And he said, okay. How about something to do with potatoes? I said, no, I want to make films. He said, well, make a film about potatoes. They're one of the nature's most photogenic root vegetables. Some potatoes are funny to look at. They're shaped like the male genitalia. I'm like, I don't know. He's like, no, come on, an action movie. Potatoes of the Caribbean. Potatoes on a plane. MASH. Do MASH. Anyway, so eventually I get to the Edinburgh Festival. Now, I've got to admit, most years at the Edinburgh Festival, I was drunk. And one year, the show Rescue Me with Dennis Leary? Well, one year I shared a dressing room with Dennis Leary, apparently. But neither one of us remembers it. But I've heard tell, I've seen it on the Google, we did share a dressing room. He was here, I said, did we share a dressing room? He said, I have absolutely no recollection of that. And there's a street in Edinburgh called Rose Street. There's a long street, there are 45 pubs on Rose Street. 45 bars, I know. When I heard that at first as well, I went, sounds like a challenge to me. And the thing to do in Rose Street was to have a drink at every pub on the way down Rose Street, and then drink your way back. I got so drunk in Rose Street, I tore a hole in the space-time continuum. I met myself on the way back. and got into a fight. Do you want a piece of me, man? I love you. You don't know me. All those drunken favourites. You don't know me. Anyway, I go to this Edinburgh festival after I leave school, and I get in there into show business. And early on, when I was in show business, I was always on the bill. For some reason, there was always a lot of a cappella lesbian singing groups. It's not a joke, it's just true. It was before lesbians started playing electric instruments. You know, they were... Because Scotland, of course, invented lesbians back in the 1500s. That's how Carnegie made his fortune. He invented the lesbian. I don't know. It's what I remember. I remember the folk songs they used to sing, the old lesbian folk songs. Oh, champagne dreams, caviar wishes, men are bad, carpets delicious. Lesbian folk songs.